Hello, Black women. Hello, friends. The doors are open around the world to some countries if you're interested in you and or your family moving abroad. So today I'd like to share with you my list of places where the doors are open, where it's relatively easy to get someplace and stay someplace for a reasonable amount of time. Welcome. My name is Stephanie Perry. I am the creator of Exodus. I am the creator of House Sitter School and the co-creator of Exodus Summit. And I help Black women take sabbaticals abroad, move abroad, career breaks, bop around the world as a nomad, house sit, all while embracing ease. If these things sound good to you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, please, while I drink a sip of water. You didn't do it. You didn't do it. Thank you. And then turn on notifications, ring the notification bell. You'll be notified when I post a new video or when I go live with my friends. Hey, friends. Hey, Butterfly Babe. And Dope Black Mama, good morning. Venice, good morning. TC Bean, good morning. Girlfriend Hour with Dr. GB, good morning. Journey with Lo, good morning. Sonia Shelton, hey. Good morning, everybody. Octavia Harris, house sitting retiree, good morning. Make sure that you say hi if you're here live. And then if you're watching the replay, hi, friends in the future. I hope it's awesome there. Say hi in the chat. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hi, friends on Instagram. Hey, Mary. Good morning. I'm going to leave Instagram in a few minutes. So if you feel like it, if you want to hear this conversation, go ahead and move on over to my YouTube channel, which is Stephanie Perry. Okay, so I'm in Bogota, Colombia. So let's start with the category that Bogota falls under in terms of this conversation, places where it's easier to stay. But you know what I didn't do? Let's pull up my notes. This is my Exodus. Okay, where is Bogota in this list? Okay, the doors are open. So I made a few caveats. The doors are open for U.S. passport holders. Okay, so these are places where you have to have a passport to get there. But also, this conversation is for U.S. passport holders. Some of these numbers and stuff will be different based on your passport. So the U.S. passport is not as strong as the Canadian passport. So Canadian friends, y'all have more options probably. And some of these places may give you even more time. And that's it. And then other passport holders, you know, your mileage may vary. Okay, so the first category is no tourist visa required, and U.S. passport holders can stay for 180 days or more. Now, 180 days is different in different countries. There are countries that will say you can stay for 180 days in one block, and then the countries that say you can stay for 180 days out of 365 days. But I have a quick list of countries where if you have a U.S. passport, you can leave the United States and go to this place and stay in this place for 180 days. Mexico, generally speaking, when you fly into Mexico, you should get 180 days on your stay without having to apply for any extra paperwork. Colombia, the UK, I don't know if you want to be there, but the UK generally will let you stay for 180 days. Jamaica and Bahamas in the Caribbean, but that you may need to go into the immigration office and extend, or the visitor, I don't know, the office and extend, right? So you may not get 180 days when you first land in Jamaica, but you may need to go and do some paperwork to extend. I've extended my stay in a handful of countries. I've gone into the office. I know in Thailand and the Philippines, I've walked in and extended my stay, and it's no big deal, right? You pay a little fee, you fill out some paperwork, you wait half the day, and then they give you the extra days on your passport or your whatever. And I would assume with Jamaica and the Bahamas, it's a similar process. So Mexico, a lot of people, but not always, when you fly into Mexico, right away, you're allowed to stay for 180 days. Mexico is unusual in that you can leave and come back and get another 180 days. Colombia is not that. With Colombia, you leave, you get 180 days out of out of the year. In Colombia, it's 180 days out of a calendar year, starting on January 1. So if you came on the 100 and if you came in the middle of the year, stayed for 180 days until late end of December, you could leave and come back January 1, right? Colombia is a calendar year. It's one of the only times I've seen calendar years in this kind of conversation. Okay. Yes. Oh, Costa Rica. I don't know why I didn't mention Costa Rica. Costa Rica, absolutely. Costa Rica also in the 180-day club when you fly in. The other caveat that I need to give you is that I just forgot the caveat. 180 days, passport, tourist visa. It'll come back to me. 180. Anything is subject to change at any time, right? A country can change their rules at any time, and they get implemented pretty quickly. I remember when Mexico changed to 180. I believe I remember when Mexico changed to most people flying in will get 180 days. Most tourists flying in can get 180 days. And that went into effect immediately. I believe I remember that change. And some others. I know the residency changes happen quickly, but I think even the tourist visa changes happen pretty much immediately. So that's that. Let me drink some more water. I'm meeting up with some women here. Vivian, are you here? I can't get in contact with you. I'm here. I haven't seen an email from you, but we're going to meet today. So I DM'd you on Instagram. I haven't been able to find your email. You said you emailed me, but I can't find the email. But we're meeting up. We're going to lunch at noon here in Bogota. So I hope you find the DM message. I hope you find it. Oh, Camille says, Jamaica gave me 6 months, but your underage child, they only gave 90 days. So that meant you only had 90 days. Could you have gone into the office and extended? So it's not, every country has a different rule. Like, so the Philippines, I think the Philippines gave me 30 and I could extend for another 30, right? But could you have, but most places, I shouldn't say most, but lots of countries will even no matter what they give you, they have a process. If you can come in, they have a process for you to extend. Was that an option for you? That stinks. Do you have to fly to Mexico for the 180 days? Yes. If you come to Mexico on a cruise ship, if you drive in, if you walk in, what are other ways to enter the border? Whatever. Airports are the only places where they're giving 180 days. And it's not a guarantee. They're not going to guarantee you 180 days, right? But you're very likely to get 180 days. But yeah, only airports, only the officers at the airports are given 180 days. So if you come on a cruise ship or a boat, or if you drive across, if you walk across, you're absolutely not going to get 180 days. Can you go to the immigration office and extend? That's a thing to ask a facilitator. The thing about traveling internationally and moving abroad and stuff is that there are people who have answers and there are people who have connections. So a lot of things can be done if you know somebody who does those things. And so if you got to Mexico, if you flew into Mexico, or if you drove in and they gave you 7 days or 10 days or 30 days and you needed 180 days, could you still parlay that into 180 days? Yeah. But you would need to go to the immigration office to do that extension, and you would probably need a facilitator to extend that. All right. Oh, Adelia says Mexico does not do extensions. You have to leave. So you have to leave and come back and try again. So Jewel and I just did a permanent residency thing in La Paz, and that lady had gotten there was a European lady. Was she Dutch, Polish? I told y'all about her earlier, but I don't remember what she was. She was some European passport holder. She did get an extension on her tourist visa, but it was while she was working on her residency. And it was in a state where things are done differently than the rest of Mexico. But she told us she got an extension. That's why I put it on my list, because she told us she got an extension while they waited on her, whatever, her family's whatever, something. She did get an extension, but that residency, that office does things very differently. That state, where that office does things very differently. So with Mexico, you have to leave. If you fly in, you don't get 180 days, you got to leave and try it again. Okay. All right. 180 days means that, hi, Paloma, you can get information on you can get our facilitator information inside of the Exodus ASAP membership. It's not information that we put out on the internet because, as I just said, they do things differently. You can get anything. You can get anything done if you have the right connections, and we're not putting our connections out willy-nilly on the internet. But if you're a member of the Exodus ASAP membership, that information is in there. Okay. Also, 180 days to Panama. Panama is on my list for the next category, but I think Panama hits both categories really nicely. So if you want 180 days without having to apply for a tourist visa, Panama is a good option. I put it on the next category. My next category is a retirement visa with the average Social Security check. Am I saying that right? You can qualify for a retirement visa in these countries with the average Social Security check. And I believe I've been told that the average Social Security check for an American is $1,800 per month. So if you receive $1,800 per month for the rest of your life, whether it's Social Security or pension or VA disability benefits or something, $1,800 or more. I didn't have any coffee this morning. And I didn't go to sleep until, I know I was up at 2:00. I remember looking at the clock at 2:00, looking at my thing at my computer at 2:00. Bear with me. The average Social Security check in the United States is $1,800. Here are countries where you qualify for a retirement visa. I believe the minimum age for Panama is 18. The minimum age for Thailand is 50. And the minimum age for Ecuador, I don't recall. Okay. So I gave you the list: Panama, Thailand, and Ecuador. Panama and Ecuador are around $1,200, $1,000, $1,200 a month for life. You qualify for a retirement visa there. Thailand, I believe, is about $1,800, around, give or take, $1,800 a month for life. All right. Too busy doing my hair. So busy taking the twist out of my hair that I don't even know how I didn't sleep, because I went to bed early. I got up in the bed. I was in the bed before 11. I was in the bed by 10 something, which lately is early. Normally I'm a much more earlier go to sleeper, but lately that's early. And so I had my laptop open and I was yesterday I was listening to an audiobook. And I looked up, turned the screen on, and it was 2:15 or something. And I'm like, why am I still awake? You gotta be talking, you gotta be coherent before 9 a.m. Have some coffee for me. Cheryl, okay, Cheryl, we're gonna see each other real soon, right? I went to go pick up a bar cart yesterday. Cheryl, were you out walking around Calle 85 yesterday? I was in an Uber. I went in an Uber to go pick up some stuff from Facebook Marketplace. Did you have on some print black and white pants? I was like, is that Cheryl? But we passed you too quick. We turned the corner as soon as I saw you. We turned the corner to go to the apartment to go pick up the thing. Okay. Winnie B, my Social Security is below average, but I got permanent residency in April in Panama. Congratulations, Winnie B. And yes, right. So this is another place where the doors are open. Um, watching Al Jarreau's Unsung. Okay, so Rhonda's saying her latest update she saw was $1,100 a month for Panama, and I think Ecuador is lower than Panama. The U.S. dollar. So in Panama, it's listed in U.S. dollars, but in Ecuador, you'd have to wait. Ecuador also use the U.S. dollar. I don't know. You need to check the currency, which is why when I talk about Thailand, I'm like approximately 1,800 because they're not giving you the number in dollars. They're giving you the number in baht. How many dollars a baht will buy or how many baht a dollar will buy changes every single day. Okay, so do I mean an American has to have income of 18 or you can get 1,800? You need to have $1,800. For Panama, you need to have, let's call it 1,200. I think it's about 1,200 last time I looked. In Panama, you need to have $1,200 a month in income to be able to qualify for permanent residency as a retiree. Panama has the retirement visa. So $1,800, 12. Shit, I don't know. This is going to be a terrible video. Stick with me. We'll see. If I don't get it together in a few minutes, we'll call it a day. Panama. If you have at least $1,200 a month in income for the rest of your life, and you're at least 18 years of age, you can qualify for permanent residency through a retirement visa. It's income you must have. Social Security, disability, maybe disability. Disability is funny because it's not for life. Let's go back. Social Security, veterans benefits, pension, $1,800, $1,200 for life, Panama. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work today. Good morning. I don't know. I even feel jumbled in my brain. I feel jumbled. Oh, this is a different Cheryl? There are two Cheryls. That's right. Sorry for... We do have two Cheryls. I knew that before. Okay. Take you with me to get coffee. I would if I was on my laptop, but my laptop is here. I'm on the desktop. I would have to put you on hold for a little while. All right. So what are living expenses in these countries? So if you can stay in Panama, Ecuador, Thailand for, if you could qualify for residency with $1,000, $1,200, $1,800 a month in income, is that enough to live? This is a good question. There are cost of living calculators that will tell you what places cost based on how you want to live. A difficult thing about me telling you what it costs to live in a certain place is I have a standard. I don't know your standard. I don't know the standard of some of these other people who are reporting the numbers, like verbally. But if you go to some cost of living calculators, you can slide things and see, like, what does it cost for a modest lifestyle? What does it cost? Because people always talk about living like a local. A lot of us American people, Canadian people, are not interested in living like a local, right? We're not interested in going someplace and having no kitchen or having to install the kitchen ourselves. Right? I'm paying a pretty penny for rent. Part of that is because it came with the appliances, right? Most of the appliances, the dishwasher is just a whole, right? If I want a dishwasher, I got to buy a dishwasher. Oh, actually, no, I bought my refrigerator. I had to buy my refrigerator, my dishwasher, my washer dryer, and I'm a renter. Cost of living. So the cost of living calculators we have a toolkit called the Work From Anywhere Toolkit. And there are cost of living calculators listed in there. I'll tell you out loud, the Earth Awaits and Numbeo and Nomad List are 3 cost of living calculators where you can see what a place costs. It's also helpful to see visually on something like YouTube what people in that place are talking about when they tell you what they're paying for rent or for something. Get the cost of living calculator list inside of our Work From Anywhere toolkit at exodussummit.com/toolkit. It's a free download. Inside of the toolkit, we list out our favorite cost of living calculators for you to use. So, what is the cost of living in Colombia? Whatever you want it to be, right? In Bogota, which I would guess is the most expensive city in Colombia, a guess, right? Having talked to people on my channel who live in Cali, I talked to someone from Cali. Rashida's talking to Courtney in Medellin tomorrow on her channel. She's Roshida on YouTube, Roshida. If you just go youtube.com/@Roshida, you'll find her channel. Make sure you turn on notifications. So I would guess that Bogota is the highest cost of living city of the major cities in Colombia. And so what does it cost here? I've seen apartments that I would live in, 2-bedroom apartments that I would live in, starting at around $600 a month. In apartments that I live in neighborhoods that I live in, I'm not paying $600 a month. I'm paying 3-4 times that. But I have needs. I have specific needs. Okay, so, but I have seen let me say 650. I've seen 650. I think that's 2 million. Let me convert. 2 million. 607. Even with the dollar really tanking, the dollar is really tanking in Colombia, like tanking. It's still 6. I've seen 2 million, 2.5 million. Let me say now I'm going to go with 2.5 million. I've seen apartments for 2.5 million. Now that's 750. I'm going to go back to my 650 number. In Bogota, right? I've seen 2 bedrooms for 650. I talked to Akeem, who lives in Cali, and he was like 450. Those 650 apartments in Bogota are 450 in Cali. So it's hard to tell you specifically what a cost of living is in a place. You have to use some calculators and figure it out for yourself. Also, you need to see some people who are living in that dollar figure, right? So when I tell you my all in, I'm about $3,500 a month all in. Food, rent, transportation, because I Uber. I don't take the bus all that much. I Uber places. And I eat out or order food most of the week. Most meals most of the week. $3,500 a month all in, and with a 4-bedroom, 2-story apartment, right? You need to see what that looks like. Now you're saying you couldn't stay in La Canda. This is you, Cheryl. Wait a minute. This is the same Cheryl. I'm very confused, y'all. I'm very confused. This is the same Cheryl who's here, right? I don't know, girl. I don't know. I think it's the same. I think she's tricking me. Deborah, I don't know this city. Sabaneta, $400 a month for an Airbnb, which is impressive because Airbnb prices are going to be higher than a rent, right? Airbnb price is going to be higher than rent. So if I say to you, I live in Bogota and my cost of living is $3,500 a month, some people will be like, oh my gosh, it's too expensive. Colombia is so expensive. No, girl, you could live here on much less than that. You could live here. I think you could live in Bogota on $1,500 a month, I think, right? If your rent is $650 and you're taking the bus and walking and not Ubering, and you're cooking for yourself and eating local stuff, I'm done with arepas. I don't want another arepa. Okay, no, I don't want it. That's never good. It's never good. Today we're going to a sushi restaurant. Our meetup is at a sushi restaurant. I'm sick of food here. Okay, right? You could do it on much less. So it's hard to talk cost of living. I do think that of the list, Thailand probably has the lowest low side. We're not done with the list. The next category on the list is a 1-year visit as a tourist. That's Albania and Georgia. But let's pause that for a second. Out of Mexico, Colombia, UK, Jamaica and the Bahamas, Panama, Ecuador, and Thailand. I think Thailand has the lowest low where you're still feeling comfortable. Any of these, like Ecuador, I'm sure you can live in Ecuador for $300 a month, but are you going to be comfortable? I don't know. I think Thailand has the lowest low where you'd still be comfortable. And again, every country has a lot of cities and towns. So I'm thinking about it. I still stand by that. I still stand by Thailand. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and close out the IG. Hi, friends over there. Come on over to YouTube, youtube.com/@StephaniePerry. I'll see you over there. It's hard to see. It's part of the problem is I'm looking at myself in both places. I'll see y'all over on YouTube. Okay, discard. Let me drink a little more water and see if I can get myself together. Girlfriend hour. I moved to Thailand. Let me tell you, I eat like a local. I don't live like a local. Exactly that. Exactly that. I think Thailand is also the most fun place to eat like Thailand. Vietnam is not on this list because Vietnam does not make it easy to move to Vietnam. You can visit over and over again, but it's not easy to move to Vietnam. But Southeast Asia, except for the Philippines, eating like a local is a joy. Thailand and Vietnam are the best choices, I think, for the food. Although Malaysia, never mind, all of Southeast Asia, except for the Philippines. The Philippines has good food, and it's a place that I loved being in. But Philippine restaurants, are a challenge because you just go there and they'd be like, we don't have. Right? Can I get some pork adobo? No, we don't have. Can I have some shrimp? Right? We don't have. Right? Eating in the Philippines means you have to eat at the American and at the foreign establishments. It's hard to eat like a local in the Philippines because locals eat Jollibee, which is like their McDonald's, Chinese McDonald's, I think, and stuff. Eating like a local in the Philippines is a challenge. Well, I'm off topic. Move to Thailand, eat like a local, don't live like one. That's right. That's a lot. That's right. That's right. LBM says $3,500 a month is doable. I'm paying $1,600 a month for health insurance. Ciao. Wow. So my health insurance here is $1,800 for the full year. Colombia does require you to have health insurance. Their form of universal health care is universal insurance. I, as a foreigner who they know makes enough money to live here, I pay for my insurance out of pocket, whereas there are people here who don't have to pay for their insurance, right? I pay for my insurance and it's $1,800 for a full year, and it's a very robust insurance policy that includes home visits and stuff. Lots of tests and medications, prescriptions and stuff are included. Okay. You can live like this. Jazz says, why can't we live like that? Jazz and Chill Radio. Come on down. This is why I'm talking to you. I'm not doing the best job. But this is why I'm live right now. Come on down, right? Colombia, the problem with moving to Colombia is that they don't have a permanent resident category right now for people who are not retirees. You're a temporary resident here, or you're a visitor, like a migrant, category M, migrant resident, migrant person, not permanent yet. Thailand has lower priced Airbnbs that are quite upscale and modern. Yeah, Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, Indonesia. Yes, you're going to find great prices. I think I stand by that. In Thailand, you may be able to live on the same low dollar figure in Thailand and Ecuador, but I think your life in Thailand is going to be much better. So come on down. I'm here because you can't. The question was, why can't we live like that? You can leave, right? I sincerely believe that instead of staying in the United States and fighting to make them better people, just leave. Go somewhere where there's better people. Instead of fighting for universal health care, you can just leave and go somewhere where they have universal health care, right? France is surprisingly not the most expensive place to live. France can be surprisingly affordable, and they have universal health care, and higher education, like college education is really, really inexpensive. And you can get degree programs in English. There are some degree programs in English, right? Instead of fighting, I am team flight over team fight. I'm not team fight. I'm team flight. Go and get the things that you want for yourself instead of sticking around and hoping that they can become possibilities where you already are. So that's why we're talking. Right on 62. Thailand is hot and humid. I can't do it. Okay. Thailand is hot and humid. Even when you go, like Chiang Mai is north, and I think Chiang Mai is relatively high altitude for Thailand. It's still hot and humid, right? It gets still humid there. Yeah, right. Which is why Southeast Asia is a great choice for most people, but not everybody, right? I think Latin America and Southeast Asia have a lot of similarities. But in Latin America, I think you have a better chance of not having to deal with heat and humidity, because you can get high altitude in Latin America and cool off. I'm in Bogota. I have on short sleeves and I'm sitting here and I'm like, wish I had brought my wrap. Wish I was wrapped up in something. High today is probably 65. I don't look at the weather here because it's always the same. All year round, the temperature is the same. It's just a matter of, is it going to rain or not? So it's 59 degrees right now. It's July 11th, 2026. I'm in Bogota, Colombia. It's 59 degrees, high is 64, right? So in Latin America, you can escape the heat and humidity that you can't in Southeast Asia or the Caribbean. I think because of the mountains, I don't know that there's a country in Latin America that doesn't have some cool weather city. Right. Mexico City and Guadalajara. I mean, they get hot days, but they're not hot. Like you think of Mexico, they're not 90-degree all year round cities like you think Mexico is. In Colombia, Bogota, Medellin, Cali, not hot. We're going to Medellin August 8th for a meetup. So you may want to come and see it for yourself. If you're in the Exodus Summit community, exodussummit.com/community, join us. My notes aren't coming up, so I don't have my links. Okay. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. I got to get myself right. I got to get right. I'm not getting it together. I don't have it together today. I think this is a very important conversation, but we may need to put a pin in it. Okay, here's the Exodus Summit community. All right, I found it. My notes wasn't right. I had to look on my computer for the notes, but then I had to type the link manually. This is not, it's not hidden. Okay, this conversation. Okay, Medellin, Colombia, August 8th, Black women in the Exodus Summit community are meeting up. If you want to join us, make sure that you're in the Exodus Summit community, exodussummit.com/community. We left Facebook, but that means we're on a platform that, number one, we pay for, and number two, requires more upkeep, and Francis has to do a lot more work in the community. So the one-time fee to join the community, that fee is $1. Okay, $1 one-time fee. All right. Good morning, Latina. Good morning, everybody. Okay, we're in it. Okay. We're doing it. We're having conversation. We're doing it. Long-term visa for France. The student visa is surprisingly flexible. If you're interested in studying French while you're there, or something, could be baking, pastries. Aromatherapy is not, what is it called when you're making perfume? Perfumery? Something. If you're willing to take a class that's at least 91 days long in France, it's not all that challenging right now to get a long stay visa. And that's it. The devil is busy. Yes. It won't work. Okay, so what was I saying? France, less expensive than you think it is. I'm not saying it's inexpensive, but France, less expensive than you think it is. And universal health care, free, you can get a degree for about 2,000 euros per semester. It might be per year. 2,000 euros per semester, a degree in English. I forgot I put lime in here. I'm like, what's squirting in my mouth? The pulp. I forgot I squeezed some fruit in here. Okay. Yeah. France is very flexible on what they consider a student. Student visa gives you a year, I believe. You know who knows this? Latrice, who is Paris Chic Code. But I believe it gives you a year. If you're taking a class that's at least 91 days, you have a year in France with their universal health care. They make you get on the system. Their system is called Social Security. And they make you get on Social Security. You have universal health care while you're in France for that year. And then if you want, they have freelancer visa. I believe France, like the rest of Europe, has freelancer visas and stuff, and you can work on how to stay there longer. Also, I need to talk to her. There's somebody else, Tanisha. I'm thinking of her first and last name, but she doesn't use that on the internet. Who is Tanisha on the internet? If you go to YouTube and you type Tanisha Paris, who is she on the internet? Here she is. Thank you. I typed Paris and it came up. She is, Black Ass News with Tanisha Mercer, but then she's got another channel. Oh no, that's it. Black Ass News with Tanisha Mercer. Okay. She's also in Paris, and she's there on she's not there on the student visa. Okay. Let's move on. She is Black Ass News. Thank you. Hi, Jazzy. All right. So, and then Latrice is Paris Chic Code. But I don't know. She's not on YouTube. So I'm giving you Tanisha because you can see her apartment, right? When she talks about her cost of living, you can see what that looks like. And you can see what her life looks like I like YouTube for that. YouTube is amazing. I appreciate YouTube. And it's because you get more of a picture. You can read or hear somebody say, I live in this place for X amount of dollars, but you don't really know what that looks like. And I understand that that like how that's not helpful. But YouTube is helpful because people can show you what they're talking about. But you need to remember, also be mindful that if they rented their place before the COVID, their place probably would not cost that same amount today. It would probably cost much more today. But if they've been in their place for Patricia, Patricia, I may have Patricia right here on my thing because I looked her up the other day. Patricia Bright. I can't be clicking on all these videos. Your voice. I can't just click. I got a million YouTube tabs open, but I can't be clicking on things. Let's see. Patricia Bright. Patricia. Patricia Paris. Come on, YouTube. Help me out like you did last time. Patricia Paris didn't come up. Oh, because I'm on. Let me switch to mine. I'm on my other channel. Am I right about that, Patricia Bright? No, not Patricia Bright. Help me, somebody. Where y'all at? Brooks. Yes. Courage Catalyst. Brooks. Brooks. Okay. Patricia Paris. Courage Catalyst. Y'all knew. Thank you. Y'all knew who I was talking about. This is a good teamwork. Thank you, Rashida. Thank you, everyone. No, it's Patricia Brooks. Thank you, everyone. Okay, she's a Black woman in our community, lives in Paris, shows her life in Paris, shows what the life looks like. Paris is not the only city. Hi, there she is. Paris is not the only city in France, but it's nice. If you like it, you like it. No, that's my tamales lady. It's 9:30 something. Yep, 9:43. It's the tamales lady. She rides by with a loudspeaker, so you can go buy her tamales. I'm always here with y'all. One day I will go run down there and see what she's talking about. All right. Now that my notes section is working here, I had to close it and open it back up. Okay, maybe I'll be much more organized now. Okay, so we talked about 180 days or more. We talked about places with the retirement visa on what I would consider little money to qualify. We talked about how you can know what the cost of living in those places are, because just because you qualify to live there doesn't mean the cost of living matches that, although it does. They come up with numbers. Countries come up with a number that they say you need to go there, to move there or stay there based on like the cost of living. Although Mexico's is stupid. Mexico's number is stupid. Mexico's number for temporary residency is more than I pay all in Bogota for my like really expensive bougie life. Mexico's number is dumb, but it's their choice. They do what they want. I don't mean it, Mexico. I'm permanent now. I'm permanente. I don't think they're going to snatch it from me. I don't mean it. I just mean it's a high number. I don't mean it's a dumb big process. Okay, 1 year visitor visa, 1 year tourist visa, Albania and Georgia. This sounds crazy to be talking about as Black people if you don't know anyone who's been to Albania and or Georgia, the country of Georgia. But if you know anyone who's been there, you understand why we'll never leave it off of the list. They love it. Black people who go to Albania, Black people who go to Georgia, Black people who go to Croatia, they really, really like it. And so Albania and Georgia allow you to stay for 1 year as a tourist. And so the doors are open to those countries. They have a good cost of living. Again, I can't give you figures, but I can tell you that for Europe, they're much less than the rest of Europe, right? Much cost of living much lower than Europe. And you're in the EU. Wait, are you in the EU and Ethiopia? I don't know. Let's see. Is Georgia EU? I typed Georgie. Well, you know what I mean? Georgia, the country, regarded as part of Europe. The Wikipedia. Let's see. EU. Must not be, because in the sidebar, it doesn't say anything about the EU. Anyway, whatevs. It's not important. Albania. Albania. Is Albania part of the EU? No. All right, so that doesn't matter. Good cost of living, people that you'll enjoy, and places to go and see and do things. Are we done? Are we done for the day? Doors are also open to you if you were born in another country. The doors are open to you to get your passport from that country and citizenship, probably. If your parents were born in another country, the doors are probably open to you for that country to get citizenship. But this conversation is not about citizenship. It's really not even about residency. It's just, except for the retirement visa part. It's just about places where you can hop on a plane and go there and stay for a significant amount of time. If you back one up to the other, right, you've got the rest of your life to live outside of the United States, right? If you go to Mexico for 6 months and Colombia for 6 months and Panama for 6 months and Ecuador for however long they let you stay, and Albania for a year, and Georgia for a year, and then you go back to Mexico for 6 months, right? You've got the rest of your life. The doors are open to you in a lot of places without you having to do a whole lot, without you having to do a whole lot of work. Even the Panama retirement visa is not a crazy amount of work. If it was, a lot of our women wouldn't do it, because a lot of the women in our community who have the Panama retirement visa don't really intend to live in Panama, at least not full time. Did I bring my furniture with me? No, absolutely not. Well, I didn't have none. But even if I did, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have paid for that. Who does it make sense to bring your whole house? There are women in our community who have brought everything with them, whether they moved to Mexico and they drove it down, them and some movers and a whole bunch of, right, or they put it on some pallets and had it shipped to wherever they were. There are women who have done that. I think it makes sense to do that if you absolutely aren't ready to start over, right? And you just want to repeat what you already have. Most of us are like, start me over. Restart, reset. Leave it all, sell it all. Start me over. It may make sense if you're going to, so in particular in like a Caribbean island where it's going to be hard to get, don't be mad at me, Caribbean people, where it's going to be hard to get like furniture and stuff that you like. You know, it's just hard. Curacao is a little small island. And how am I going to get furniture that I like? I went to furniture stores while I was there. I didn't intend to stay there, but I just wanted to see what it was like. And I was like, yeah. Yeah, no, thank you. Maybe if you're moving to a Caribbean island and you don't like the furniture in those places, it may make sense to put some stuff on a pallet. Other than that, no, fresh start. It's the hassle, it's the time it takes. I don't know how long it would take to get your stuff in most places, but you could have just gone to the store and bought something for that. Sell what you have and buy when you get there. I can't think of any other group of people where I'm like, yeah, you should bring your stuff. Just get it when you get there. Even if it costs more money, even if the exact same stuff is going to cost you more, you're going to sell it for less at home and then buy it for more in a new place. Do that. Do that rather than going through the expense of bringing your stuff. It's up to a customs agent what you pay when you land. When you get to a new place, it's up to an individual person. Just like we talked about Mexico, when you fly in, you should get 180 days. That person can be like, no, you get 7 days, right? Same with when you come in. Customs decides how much you owe to import, to bring your stuff into that country. And you don't want to be at the mercy of those people. So, like 90% of the women in the Exodus Summit community who move abroad do it with fewer than 10 suitcases, right? That sounds crazy when you're talking about moving. Fewer than 10 suitcases. And the women who bop around permanently, who just bop around, who are nomads, they do it with 3 suitcases, maybe 4. Good point, Journey with Doe. You may find that the stuff in your climate, your furniture and your items, your things in your climate don't survive a different climate. If you're going to a very humid place, your stuff might not survive. So yeah. In my travels today, I left everything to move to Paris before cell phones. I took 1 suitcase. I had a job waiting for me, cash. That's all I needed. 1 suitcase is awesome. Yeah, you want the flexibility to, number 1, you want the flexibility to be able to start over, have a fresh start. But number 2, you want the flexibility to be able to say, actually, I don't really like it here. Let me pick up and go someplace else. If you move a whole house, you're staying there. Even if you don't really like it that much, if you move your whole house of stuff there, you're not going to want to pick up and try a better fit for you. If you get somewhere and it's not a great fit, you're not going to want to try a better fit. You're just going to be unhappy where you are, or you're going to go back to the US. So flexibility and fresh start are reasons to not bring a whole bunch of stuff with you. My email, Selena. Hi, Stephanie@vacarious.com is my email address. Or yes, join us in the Exodus Summit community or Exodus ASAP membership also. Deonda, 5 countries, 2 suitcases, right? Freedom, flexibility, fresh start. Okay. Ask me some questions before we wrap things up. Rashida did a great therapeutic video about what to do about your belongings. Yeah, what you don't want to do is put things in storage in the US for years and years. Everything needs a plan. Inside of the Exodus ASAP membership, we teach you that you need a plan for every single item. Selenite. Okay. You need a plan for every item in your home. And that is one of the things that makes the move seem so daunting. But get support, right? Get support and start before you think you need to. We do see women pick up and move, like empty their home out and move in 3 months, right? But we also see women take 3 years because it's just, they don't want to get rid of their things, or they can't get rid of their things. It's such an emotional process. Let's start. Okay. Is there anything else I want to tell you about these countries on this list? Mexico, Colombia. So Latin America in general, I house sat and bopped around Mexico for a couple of years, and then I bopped around and house sat around Costa Rica for a couple of years. I've been in Colombia for 1 year now, 1.5 years, give or take. And I think Latin America is a fantastic fit for Black women. I spent a year bopping around Southeast Asia, And I think that's also a fantastic fit for Black women. I think if you want a place where you can sit down and settle for a while, Latin America, Southeast Asia are both good for that. Or if you want a place where you can get there and hit the ground running and start a life, I think those are two different things. I think sitting somewhere, settling, resetting, renewing, rejuvenating, that's a thing. And I think that getting somewhere and starting a new life is another thing. I've been here for a while and I feel like I'm just ready to start my life, right? I just sat here for a year. I've been in this apartment for a year now. I moved in July 1 or July that weekend. Latin America and Southeast Asia are both good for either one of those things, right? A lot of African countries, I don't think are necessarily settle and rest places, because the Black women we see who move there get there and they start a business and they do this and they're doing. They start another business in there. And I think that a bonus that these places give you is that you can sit down and be still. Also the Caribbean. I think Caribbean countries that are more affordable include Jamaica and Barbados. Still not cheap, but more affordable. And so that's why we talk about Latin America so much, because it really gives you everything, including a clear pathway to permanent residency, right? Whereas some countries in some African countries, there's no pathway to you becoming a permanent resident there. I don't see any questions popping up unless I'm just not reading well. Unless I'm not reading well. Central America and Belize. Yeah, I think most of the Black women that we see who have a good experience when they go abroad, for whether it's for months or permanently, they start with nothing. Start with, I'm not doing anything. I'm not trying to hit the ground running, right? Now, there are people who help you have a softer landing in a place. Michelle from Hacienda Elm and Casa Elm in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. She's created these homes that help you settle into a place and get yourself situated, have a soft landing. But soft landing doesn't mean we're going to hit the ground running. There's a different, when I see women go someplace and they're like not interested in settling first and resting first, their move feels more frantic than helpful. So plan first to get somewhere and just be there. Not buy a property and renovate it, not start a business in the place, right? You may need to have an online business to live, to eat. You may need to have a business, but not going there and starting a business. I'm meeting with the so-and-so to learn how to do this and do this business in this place. Just be there, right? Be there, relax before you get started doing so much in a place. I don't want a job, just want to work in your business. Yeah. It's not possible in a lot of these countries to get a job anyway, right? Or not easy. I guess it's possible to do anything. It's not easy to get a job in these countries anyway. Just like the United States doesn't want a whole bunch of foreigners coming in and taking jobs. Neither do other countries, right? And so most of the women in our community are living abroad either on Social Security or pension or retirement income, investment income, right? Or they're making their money online in some way. whether they have a truly remote job, which I hear less and less of. Every now and then you'll hear somebody say, I have to work, right? Truly remote job, or they're doing some sort of client work, right? They're a freelancer, they're a consultant, they're a coach, or they're a tutor or teacher, right? Doing something online so that you can live wherever you want. That's what most of the women in our community do, right? So when I introduced myself, I said I'm the creator of House Sitter School and the co-creator of Exodus Summit. I online coach, right? I coach people on the internet for money. I also have a YouTube channel that is monetized. I get paid to make YouTube videos. So thanks for watching. Hit the like button, please. Share, okay? But most of the women in our space are making money in one of those ways. Very rarely do you see someone move abroad with a traditional job. Now, the people who do move abroad with a traditional job are either people who work for a multinational corporation and get transferred. We talked to Thea in Exodus Summit who worked for Delta Airlines, and she lives in Italy. Delta moved her to Italy, right? I don't think she works anymore. I don't think she works there anymore. I think she's doing her online thing now. She might, but she never talks about it. I don't think she does, right? Or if you work in education, working at an international school is a way to be moved abroad and live abroad. Other than that, women are mostly freelancing, consulting, coaching, something online, being some sort of service provider or something online to make the money that we need to live abroad. If you think that that is your pathway and you're ready to get started, I hope you'll join us in the Exodus ASAP community, because the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge has already started. The Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge started on Thursday. We're coaching for 3 weeks, Thursdays and Mondays, July 9 through 27. So you have time to join us. If you join us before Monday, the 13th of July, 2026, you'll be in a good position. You'll still have time to watch the replay from the first coaching session and catch up so that you'll be ready for the second coaching session that happens on Monday. That's ExodusASAP.com. So Rashida and I, the founders of Exodus ASAP, are teaching you the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge, which is how do you find people who want the service you provide, right? Whether you're a nutrition coach or a book editor or I got my notes here. I don't want to read it off. Or a house sitter coach, right? Or teach people how to house sit. How do you find the people that want the service you provide? Instead of knocking on one door at a time, right? Prospecting for clients one at a time, spending hours and hours trying to dig up one person who you want to work for, and then cold calling them or emailing them or DMing them. How do you find a group of people who are interested in your thing and who would love to work with you if they just knew you existed, knew what your point of view or your ideas were, and were invited to work with you? Inside the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge, we teach you how to do this over and over again, right? So I see instructional design. I think instructional design helps people who make online courses make their courses better, right? Well, where instead of finding one person who has an online course who you think could use some improvement, and then hollering at her and hoping she calls you back, and then finding one more person, how do you find a whole bunch of people who have some sort of online course that they want to improve? Those people are in coaching programs. Those people listen to specific podcasts and watch certain YouTube channels. They attend certain conferences. How do you get in front of the group instead of the individual? That's what we talk about inside of the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge. And then what do you say? What do you say to get yourself in front of the group, right? Because every group has a gatekeeper. My YouTube channel has has a good audience, a really engaged people, but you got to get through me to get here. You're not just coming to talk it on my YouTube channel because you want to, right? How do you get past the gatekeeper? How do you get it? How do you get an enthusiastic, yes, please come and talk to my people from the gatekeeper, right? And then what do you even say once you get there? And then how do you go from giving a message that the gatekeeper will let you deliver to actually selling your product or service? How do you do these things? That's what we teach you inside of the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge. It's not too late to join us. We're at ExodusASAP.com. As I said, the next session is on Monday, July 13th, 2026. And that's only session number 2 of 6. So you're still in time. Join us in the Exodus ASAP membership, and you can participate in the challenge. I'm gonna get my link. Copy, paste. Okay. First coaching went well, and you'll like the women in the challenge. You'll like them. It's one thing for group coaching. There are multiple benefits. Number one, you get the coaching from the coaches, right? And their team. Number two, you get information from the other women or the other people in the group because they know things. But number three, you get community and future collaborators even. You get people who will collaborate with you in the future. You get people who will speak your name. Like when Rashida said, Patricia, don't forget about Patricia. And then I gave Patricia the wrong last name, and other people in the community were like, no, Patricia Brooks, the Courage Catalyst, right? That's the kind of thing that happens when you're in community with people, with other Black women. And that is a thing that happens inside of the Exodus ASAP membership. First coaching session was amazing. We texted each other afterwards. Little high fives. We have a great group gathered together. And Rashida and I have done this coaching enough times that we can feel the vibes early. We're like, yeah, this is an amazing group. They're going to go on to do great things individually in their businesses and together. Samantha was there. Samantha says, loved it. Let's go. So if you think that freelancing or virtual assistant or consulting or coaching, something where you need to get clients online, if you think that that's your method for your move abroad or your time away from the US, if you want to bop around instead or something else, then come on and join us. You don't have to already have a business for the challenge to be helpful. If you don't already have an idea, you need to get in there today, okay? You need to get in there today. You need to listen to day 0 and day 1, and you need to do your do some typing in the community so we can get you up to speed, okay? Let the team get you up to speed. If you have an idea already, or you even already have a business, you're just not getting clients, come on and join us. But also, if you don't have a business, you have a couple of ideas you think you might want to do, you need to get in there this weekend so that when we come to coaching on Monday, you're up to speed, okay? And yes, replays are sent out every day after coaching. All right. Lady Sarita says 300 more likes would be great. So please hit the like button if you're here and ask me a question. So did I feel like we did a clear enough job of discussing some of the similarities and differences between the Latin American and the European, Albania and Georgia, and the Asian representation on our Move Abroad list? Do you feel clear about if these doors are open, do you feel clear about what the differences and similarities are and how you would decide what's a good fit? I think most of us should start with bopping. I think more of us should start with no roots in a new place yet and just start with bopping. I bopped for 9 years and 9 months. Okay. I'm a witness that it's better, or it's better for most of us. It's freeing. It's really nice to be able to be like, I'm gonna go here for 90 days, see what they're talking about. I'm gonna go here for 180 days, see what it's like. I may go for 180 days, leave for a week, and come back for 180 days. That is, it's freeing. It helps you shed a lot of the US stuff. Sometimes when people pick up and move from the US to another place immediately, they just try to recreate their US life. But bopping around from place to place for a while, for months or even for years, helps you shed that US stuff that you didn't want to take with you in the first place, right? You didn't want to be a hyper-capitalist, consumerist person in your new life. And bopping around for a while helps you shed a lot of that. And then you can choose a place based on what you actually want, instead of choosing a place based on what you can, where you can recreate your US life, right? Mexico has Costco, right? I think, well, Mexico City and Querétaro, and I think Guadalajara, they have Costco and Sam's Club, right? And so you could move someplace and immediately just try to replicate a US life. And I think that bopping around for a while, trying some places out, 3 months here, 6 months there, makes it easier to instead create from scratch. Not really, you never start from scratch. You're not starting from zero, but create based on what you actually want, instead of just repeating and replicating what you already know. Because what you already know is killing you, all right? What you already know is draining you. What you already know is driving you bonkers. You want peace and ease. And I think that even though it sounds counterintuitive, I think that that peace and ease can come from spending a lot of time with no expectations, right? And just seeing what happens, seeing what comes. I really enjoyed bopping around for those 9 years, even though a lot of time I was in one place for one time, for months, right? 3 months in one, not just one country. 3 months, not just in one town, but 3 months in one Airbnb, right? 3 months in one house, one neighborhood, one house, right? That helped me not have to try to move too fast. Like not having to try to create a home too fast. Even after that, like after bopping for 9 months, I've been in this place for 1 year. I just got rugs this week. You may have noticed on Instagram, I posted my rugs multiple times. I just got a living room rug and an entryway rug. I still didn't get a dining room rug. I think in the dining room, I'm just going to get a big jute rug. My dining room, I would like my dining room to feel like an outdoor patio, even though it's not an outdoor patio. So I think I'm just going to get a jute rug in the dining room. And then my bedroom is gargantuan. I don't even know how big my bedroom is. It's so big. My king size bed takes up about 1/5 of my bedroom. I don't know what to do about rugs there. That's going to be a multiple rug situation. But anyway, I've been here for a year. I'm not pressed. I do want my guests to be comfortable, right? Harlem Minded came by before she flew back home. And I was like, there's finally a rug here. I do want my guests to feel comfortable. But I don't feel pressed to do things quickly. And I think some of that is because this is different from any other time that I've moved into a home. I've not moved this slowly before. It's been a whole year, right? My rent has already gone up and I just put rugs in the house. Rent's already gone up. There's no rugs and my curtains, there are curtains, but they're on the floor, right? My curtains are on the floor. And I think having bopped around for a year helped me like not feel like I needed to do, I don't know. I think this is a result of me having bopped around for a year. I mean, having bopped around for 9 years and 9 months. Yes, Missy, ease and flow. I think you have a new name. Do you have a new name? You're gonna have to change your name on here, I think, right? Or am I also confused? I may still be confused. Yeah, okay. Yesterday I went and picked up the cutest bar cart. I have a record player that's being delivered, and I learned how to use the Mercado Libre, which is the delivery system here. I learned how to use that. So I have a record player that'll be delivered, but the delivery window was really long. So it must be an international shipping thing. It must be coming from international. I ordered a record player and some peanut butter because none of the grocery stores within walking distance have peanut butter. And the app, anyway, I want a specific consistency of peanut butter, and I don't like to buy peanut butter from delivery because I did it one time and it was really runny. So I have a record player coming to put on my bar cart, and I have a buffet coming from my dining room, a big old 6-foot long thing for my dining room. So it's gonna start looking like a person lives here. So I'm happy about it, but I think that's supposed to be Tuesday. The buffet is supposed to happen Tuesday. And a couple of big old plants. The lady I bought the bar cart from, she had some humongous plants. $40 for a probably 6-foot palm plant, and $40 for she had a fiddly fig, but I don't think that's a thing that I can grow. It didn't look like it was doing that well in her house, and if she couldn't grow it well, it was more than 6 feet tall. But I'm buying the palm tree for the 6-foot palm tree for $40. And what is the other thing? On Facebook Marketplace. What is it? Oh, it's 2 different types of palms. They're supposed to come on Tuesday too. The same man is going to go and get my stuff, the stuff that I couldn't bring myself. I don't know why I was talking about that. Moving slow. Taking your time to do things so that you don't feel rushed. There are 2 different types of palms. The one little skinny palm, and the one that looks like a palm. Is that helpful? She had a whole bunch. She had a really pretty, maybe like a, what is that? It's a good size leaves, and they have a lot of blue in them, green with a lot of blue in them. That was really pretty too. I might change, if it's still there, I may add that in, buy that too. But I needed something tall. I need some tall stuff in here because right now everything is at like eye level. I thought I was going to put one of the big palm trees up on my stairway. I have a skylight in the stairway, but once I got there, it was bigger than I thought. The pot is bigger than I thought it was. I thought it was going to fit nicely in my little stairway because my stairway is like the kind that goes like this, big wooden stairway. And so it would be nice to have some plants in there somehow, but not that. It's too big. It's too big. I might bring it in here, put it right in this corner or that corner. Yeah, it might look nice in here. This is a good window. They have big old window, so it might be a good place to do it. Okay, are we winding down? Any questions that I didn't answer? When is a great weather time to visit Bogota? Bogota, the high is always under 70. And even during rainy season, it's not like rainy season in Costa Rica. When I was in San Jose, Costa Rica, rainy season was like from noon to bedtime, it's raining. right? Here it's raining right now, but I would go outside. This is like a Seattle rain. It's misting right now. So I don't know that there's a weather time when it's better or worse in Bogota. If you're going to go to other, oh, you've already been to Medellin and Cartagena? Yeah, I don't think there's a no time, right? Katrina came to visit me and she looked at the map, at the weather app, and it had rain every day. And she was like, what is that? And I was like, it looks like this every day during rainy season, but it rains for like, sometimes it'll rain for a minute, sometimes it'll rain for an hour, sometimes it'll rain. I don't think there's a bad time to come here. Majestic Palm. Let me Google Majestic Palm and tell you if that's what it is. So that's the one that I called the skinny one. Yes, Majestic Palm. But what's the one where it's like everything is real close to, is it some sort of fan palm? Yeah, fan palm. I think that's what it is. Much more, I don't know. You're not going to be able to see it if I hold my phone up to the camera. She was kind enough to let me come back from later. She doesn't move until August. July 31st is her last day. So she was like, come back and get them when you can. And the man said he'll do it on Tuesday. Let's see. I don't think you're going to be able to see this. So that's the one. Her apartment is fantastic. You can't see from the photos, but her apartment is fantastic. She's a block or two over from Parque Vire. In the middle of her apartment is like a cube. She's got a humongous courtyard in the middle of her apartment. It's amazing. Her apartment is fantastic. But they're moving. When I walked in, the little boy, the baby was like, disculpe, disculpe. First he came and introduced himself. First he came and said hello. He was maybe 2. Then he was like, disculpe. He said in Espanol, you need to remove your shoes. I'm leaving. She told me to keep my shoes on, but he didn't know that. Disculpe. I don't remember what he actually said, but I know he told me to take my shoes off. So that's the one. And then this is the other. I thought looking at these photos that this was, at least this one I could carry, but it's bigger than it looks. The pot is huge. I thought it was like a normal pot in a normal plant, but it's huge. And the Uber driver was like, no, I'm not helping with that. Yes, she has them. It's a fantastic place, fantastic apartment. I said I was going to look up the building name and see if I could find what those apartments cost. I can't imagine what she's paying for that. She's right off the Parque Vire. And she's got the courtyard is huge. So it's probably 20 by 20 in the middle of her apartment. Like her apartment is built around maybe 16 by 16. No, I don't know. It might be 20. It's a huge courtyard. It's not a little tiny courtyard. It's huge. It's an apartment of its own. Somebody could live in that courtyard. She had a fantastic, when we pulled up, every building here has a doorman, and you can't just walk into apartment buildings here. But for some reason, I forgot that, and I pulled on the door. And then I looked around, and I was like, this landscaping is amazing. I had to wait for the doorman. I was like, this little bit of landscaping in front of this place. They had fountains in front of the apartment building. I'm like, this is amazing. Indirect light, 4 hours or more, humidifier nearby. Well, I don't know if I think we're pretty humid because of the altitude. I think we're pretty humid. I think the light, so I can replicate where her plants were in mine, because I have not quite floor to ceiling windows, but I got gargantuan windows that face the west. I can replicate where the way her plants were placed. I looked around. Yeah, okay, so you're saying that, okay. So when you said not me, you were saying I didn't see you walking yesterday. You're not saying you're not the Cheryl who's coming to lunch today. Okay, okay. Okay, okay. So Viola, the cost of living calculators, we linked to some in the Exodus Summit Work from Anywhere toolkit. We linked to some of our favorite cost of living calculators so you can see for yourself based on your requirements what places around the world cost. People are sharing their information, and you can find their numbers inside of those cost of living calculators. We talked about Mexico, Colombia, Jamaica, Bahamas, and the UK for 180 days or more. Those places are open to you if you have a US passport for 180 days or more. Most likely. All right. Anything could happen. You could land there and they could be like, no, not you. But most likely. And then Jamaica and the Bahamas may require you to they may start you less, and you may need to be required to go in and I already forgot what it's called. Extend. For 1-year visits, we talked briefly about Albania and Georgia. And for retirement visas with at least with the average Social Security check and retirement visas, Panama, Ecuador, Thailand. This is not an exhaustive list, but these are places that are open to you and to your family. You're welcome. If you have a US passport, there are places that make it easy for you to just leave the US and go there. You don't have to deal with residency and stuff in the beginning if you don't want to. Although, if you get there and you decide you want residency, you may have to leave the country to start the process. So if you go to Mexico and you love Mexico and you find out that you do want residency in Mexico and you qualify for residency, you will have to leave Mexico to start the process, most likely. But the doors are open to these places, and they're making it easy. You know what I saw earlier that I didn't talk about? Someone asked, what about South Africa? South Africa has made it harder and harder not to qualify for permanent residency, but to actually receive the permanent residency. It's a slower and slower process. And lately, South African people have made it less. It's becoming more of a hostile environment. So I would, if we're doing like a B, C, D, F score, South Africa used to be, I would say I would give it a B, especially Johannesburg. If you're okay with the rolling blackouts, I would give Johannesburg a B. I would say it's probably a C for most people. But if you can figure out a way to not be hurt by the rolling blackouts, which somebody like me would not be hurt by them because I don't leave the house, right? If I'm in a house that has its own generator, I'm not going to be affected. I'm not going to be out in the streets. When a blackout happens, I'm not going to be out in the world stuck somewhere. But I would move it down one letter grade at least. I would pause. I would hold off on South Africa. Lorena Galloway, when I'm bopping, do I have to come back to the US when I need to renew my passport, or can I do that online? Good question. I renewed my passport in the UK. So the UK is one of the only places in the world where you can fly in even if your passport is going to expire while you're there. Right? Most countries are like you need to have at least 6 months from the day that you leave. Your passport needs to be valid for another 6 months before we'll even let you in. The UK was like, sure, come on. So I renewed my passport at the US consulate in the UK in person. I think that's probably an unusual circumstance. Um, and I would say, even if you renew it online, when you renew it online, you probably have to mail it in, and I wouldn't want to ship my passport anywhere. So I think you would need to come back. Does anyone know a better answer? I think this is the right answer. I went in the UK and got mine, but I don't know if I thought it was unusual, but I thought it was because, okay, Thailand, somebody else. Okay, then yes. Okay, then you likely can renew your passport in the place that you're in. I did mine in the UK, but I thought it was unusual because they don't really care if your passport expires while you're there, which is strange to me, but whatever. Do you, boo? Yeah, so Adelia says you can renew abroad. What was the process like? I had to go online and make an appointment and stand in a line. Even though I had an appointment, I had to stand in a line. Sat there. I probably took 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours total. I remember leaving and going to get coffee and coming back. Wasn't the worst process. It was better than not being on the house sit. I had booked a house sit, so it was worth it to take the house sit, knowing my passport was going to expire while I was there. But they gave me a thin passport. Mine has fewer pages than most, or had fewer pages than most. I think, yeah, the passport I have today is not that passport. Is it? I know it's not. It was thinner than the one I had before. Thinner, yeah, it was thinner than the one. Yeah, you can get the whole passport. You lost yours? Oh no. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I did know that. Yeah. Denise, are you asking about the challenge if I'm an entertainer and artist and e-store owner, freelance entrepreneur visa? Oh, a freelance entrepreneur visa. Everybody has different requirements on what that means. Some places don't really care what work you do. Colombia's digital nomad visa didn't really care what I did as long as I was making, I think it's only, I shouldn't say only, I think it's like 1,500 or 1,600 US dollars per month. As long as I could prove some bank statements that say I make enough money to be here, they didn't care about what I did to qualify for the freelancer visa. Everybody's different. Mocha Moselle got the entrepreneur visa in Jamaica, and they had her write out some stuff about what she was going to do, but didn't care what she had already done, didn't care if she even knew how to do the stuff that she said she was going to do as an entrepreneur to get the entrepreneur visa in Jamaica. So all countries are different, but see what their requirements are. For Colombia, they didn't care what the work was that I did. They cared that I was getting a steady paycheck from somebody, and Exodus Summit pays me as an employee. No, I think most passports will not have his picture. I think it's a special passport that will have his picture. I may be wrong, but I don't think I shouldn't be answering this because I really don't know. I'm in my own little bubble, but I don't think every passport is having his photo. I think it's a special passport. Yeah, limited edition. I think it's limited edition. Don't worry, you'll be okay. What do I like and dislike about house sitting? I like a lot about house sitting. I like being in a new place, in a new country or new city or whatever, and having a pet there. I like having the companionship of taking care of a pet. I like the difference. One of the difference between house sitting and staying in an Airbnb is that you've got like this support. Most Airbnb hosts are not really into hospitality nowadays. In the or early days of Airbnb, it was a place where you could get really good hospitality. Now that is very unusual. But house sitting, a lot of house sitting clients have been really hospitable and have been really interested in me enjoying their city and enjoying their home. And so they give you good info about a new place. You don't just land there totally blind. One lady in San Miguel de Allende, she was like, now here's a list of the restaurants my dog likes to go to. And don't you know, Rustica became my favorite. Rustica is one of my faves in San Miguel. I've been there every time I've been back to San Miguel, I've eaten at Rustica, right? Because that's the dog's favorite restaurant. It's mine too. Um, so I like the companionship of having a pet while I'm abroad. I like the hospitality that you get from most house sitting clients. Not everybody, everybody's not good at hospitality, but most of them are more interested in you enjoying the place. And I love the free accommodation, right? I love to be able to stay someplace for free. Um, what do I dislike about it? Not much, or I wouldn't do it anymore. What do I dislike about house sitting? I got nothing. Now I dislike that I'm paying rent for my home, and if I book a house sit, I still got to pay rent. I dislike that. I dislike that. Um, Everybody dislikes something about it. What do I dislike about house sitting? Nothing. I'm very good at picking house sits, which is why I teach house sitting and how to pick house sits. I'm very good at it. And so I've stayed in some beautiful homes in some beautiful cities. And they don't have to be exquisite. Like they don't have to be like mansion homes for me to call it beautiful, right? I've stayed in little itty bitty places that were just beautiful and in good cities and with good pets. Oh, a thing I dislike about house sitting, which is pet sitting. A thing I dislike about pet sitting is when the pet disturbs my sleep, right? Don't disturb my sleep. So I ask that question: do they sleep with you? Because if their pet sleeps in the bed with them, the pet is going to sleep in the bed with you. I have gotten accustomed to that. I am a Black person. And so that took some getting used to, but I've gotten used to that. And I kind of enjoy it, especially a little cuddly pet. But the next question is, how do they sleep? How many times a night do they wake you up? Right? Surprising number of people get up in the middle of the night to let their pet go out to potty. That dog can wait. Okay, that dog can wait. They can wait. Disturbing my sleep is not a thing that I'm willing to do for a house sit anymore. I've done it. I've done house sits where they're like, yes, who was Emma? Emma barks at about 2 a.m. for you to let her out. And then when she goes out, all the other dogs will just go out too. And then they'll be out for about 10 minutes and then you let them back in. I've done it, but I'm 52 now and I'm not willing to do that anymore. If the pet disturbs your sleep, he's going to disturb my sleep and I'm not going to take that house sit. But you're in charge of what you do and don't take in terms of house sitting. How do I become a house sitter? You join Trusted House Sitters. In the description of this video, there's a link already to my new house sitter toolkit and to my Trusted House Sitters affiliate link. I'll drop them here. You join Trusted House Sitters. You set up your profile. You get a good letter. My new house sitter toolkit, my toolkit for new house sitters is what it is. It's a toolkit for new house sitters. It's a free download, and it comes with the very letter I use to get booked on the Trusted House Sitters site. And it's good. It's a good pitch email. You'll make it your own. Are there bad surprises, not well kept homes? Not for me, because I read the reviews, I look at the pictures, I talk to them on Zoom, I see the home for myself before I say yes. Right? I've not stumbled into a surprise with house sitting except for one dog who was less friendly than she said he was. Um, that's it. I've not stumbled onto a home surprise. I don't book house sits without amazing, glowing reviews already. Some other house sitter has to vet them for me. Now, I rolled the dice in Tampa. She was new to the platform. The house looked amazing, and it looked like she had a housekeeper. You know that look, the look of a house that it looks like. And I was right. They had a housekeeper, and the house was just as clean as it looked in the pictures. I don't run into surprises because I don't roll the dice. Except for that time in Tampa, I don't roll the dice. Somebody else has to have already house sat there and said, this is a 5-star, A+, top tier sit. Even when I had no money and I had to book a house sit, I didn't roll the dice. Even when I needed a house sit to be able to stay in this place, or I'm going to have to fly back to Delaware and stay in my parents' house, which is a good option, right? Good option to have. Even then, I did not roll the dice. That house sit their previous house sitters had to say, this is phenomenal. And I love to house sit for them again and again. And A+, 5 stars, no complaints. Yes, you're responsible for your own transportation to and from the house sit. You're house sitting in Mexico, you got to get yourself to Mexico, right? Which is why I liked to book house sits back to back in a place. If I'm gonna pay to get there, I'm gonna stay there, right? I house sat in the UK and I house sat for months in the UK because I could just get on a train and go to the next and the next and the next. And I even took a bus to the Netherlands from there for another house sit. Did I leave the house sit with the unfriendly dog? No, I just did not be his friend. No, it would take a lot for me to leave a house sit because then what? Like, just leave the dog to die here? Like, seriously? Or what is the other option? I can't imagine what it would take for me to leave a house sit, even if the house was dirty when I got there. No, I just put him in his kennel, put him in his cage, bed, kennel thing, close the door on him, and I gave him a good talking to. And then when I let him out, he thought we were friends again. I'm like, we're not friends. You can't sit on the sofa with me. I'm sitting on the sofa watching TV. Here he come want to lay on the sofa with me. No, lay on the floor. You just said we weren't friends. We're not friends. I messaged her and I was like, he just barked. He just got up in my face and I backed up, right? She was like, oh, he did that with the previous house sitter. I'm like, you should have told me that. It was only 2 nights. I believe it was a 3-day, 2-night house sit. So that is a problem. That's the only house sit where I had to pay for laundry. She lived in an apartment building and she didn't leave me money to pay for. If you live in a building with a pay laundry machine, I think you should leave some money for the laundry. I feel like, because I was in her apartment in her bed, right? This was a 1-bedroom apartment on the beach in Southern California, Santa Monica. It was a 1-bedroom Santa Monica apartment house sit. I'm in your bed. I'm leaving. I'm going to wash the sheets. But it wasn't a free. Their apartment complex had pay machines and I had to pay to wash the sheets. If I'd known that, I probably would have left the sheets on the bed and just been like, these sheets need to be washed. I don't know if I could have done that. I never would. I never leave the sheets on the bed, even if I'm in a guest room or something. Whatever. The dog, I was like, no, get down, go to your bed. So he got in his bed and I closed the door on him. And then he had time to think about what he had done. Opened the door. And he came on out. I sat on the sofa. He sat on the floor. And for the next day and a half, we just were, instead of being friends, I was just a house sitter. That's it. That's it. Oh, yes, house sitting retiree. I'm on a house sit right now. Clients have a gorgeous home. They're a little messy, not filthy, just messy. Nice people, paid sit, repeat clients. Oh, repeat clients. Okay. I don't do any housekeeping. Yeah. So there's a look for of a house that looks like it has a housekeeper. I don't know how to explain it, except that things, I don't know. I'll just be like, they got a housekeeper. There's no way this lady is not cleaning this house. This lady doesn't look like she's cleaning this house. I'm almost always right. Sometimes I ask them outright if there's a housekeeper, especially if I'm asking who's coming and going while I'm here. Who comes and goes? Is there a housekeeper who comes and goes? Is there a gardener who comes and goes? Listen, give me a house with a housekeeper. In some places, it's super common. In Latin America, everybody got a housekeeper. Like everybody who's listing a house on Trusted House Sitters, they got a housekeeper. I don't know if y'all remember Tico, the cat that I house sat for. That was just a little box apartment, right? It wasn't a palatial estate. It was one of those box apartments where you walk in and there's the kitchen, you walk in the living room, and then the bedroom. Box apartment, housekeeper, right? In Latin America, it's pretty common. But you can ask if you want to know. And whatever. Oh, I had one house sit where it wasn't dirty. There was just something gross in the dishwasher. And I just went and bought paper plates and papers stuff. That happened to have been also a one weekend house sit. If it was longer, if I got to suck it up and clean, if I'm house sitting for a month and I got to suck it up and clean, I wouldn't be happy. And I would say so in the review, but I'm not leaving a house sit. I'm not leaving a pet to die because the house didn't look like it looked like when I got there, when whatever, didn't look like I thought. But reviews are your friend. I read the reviews like it's my job. And if you're not glowing about this house sit, I'm not taking the house sit. I don't take, it was fine. I don't do those. I'm not it was fine kind of person in other people's homes. I want to be able to walk in and feel comfortable and at ease. And that can be a small house. I've done studio apartments, right? It's not about the size or the cost of the home. It's about, will I feel comfortable there? Ugh, ugh, ugh. I have bopped around for 6 months. I would love to bop around for the next 5 to 6 years. Money is not a factor. Good. I love that from Black women. I love to hear it. My issue is having no US home base when I come back to update things in the US. Is there someone that you would like to stay with for a day or a week or whatever? Right? My parents became my home base. Oh, you said not your parents. Sibling, friend. Your home base can just be an Airbnb that you come back to. It depends on your comfort level. If you need to come back to the US for X amount of time, can your home base be just, this is the Airbnb that I usually rent when I come back? I think are there people in your life who enjoy guests or who just enjoy you, who will miss you when you're gone? It's not a big imposition. People be staying with me and it don't put me out at all. Right? People stay with me. You know how it impacts my day? Not very much. I still be getting up at like 9, 10. I'm not cooking for you, right? You might cook for me, but I'm not cooking for you. I think, I don't know you and I don't know your friend group or your family group or whatever, but I think there are people who would be like, oh, it would be so great for you to be here for a week or however long. It would be so wonderful. Let them, right? Let them all extend that to you. There are people who love hospitality. I love to receive hospitality, but there are people who love to extend hospitality. If you have that person in your life, let them do it. Everyone has a gift. And for some people, that gift is welcoming you into their home, sincerely, seriously. I've been in homes like that, right? From family members and friends to house sitting clients to, I don't think you have to be an extrovert. Close the door. Go in your bedroom and close the door. People stay here. Harlem Minded, when she stays here, when she stayed here, is she home? Is she not home? I don't know. We'll find out when I walk past, if the door is open, she's home. If the door is closed, no, if the door is open, she's gone. And if she used to keep the door open when she would leave. If the door is closed, she's gone. Try it and see. I think human beings are made to be in community with each other. And one of the ways that we've gotten away from that is all living so separately. I'm not saying you have to live with other people, but I'm saying staying in community with other people is surprisingly healing if you let it be in the right circumstances. In the right circumstances, it's very healing to be in community with people, in physical space, in proximity with people. It's very nice. I don't know if Harlem Minded or Katrina are here, but like I am in my room and I am on the sofa or in the dining room or whatever, or in the office. I'm not put out with another person being here, right? If anything, they're going to be like, do you want to go for a walk? And I'll be like, okay. They get me out the door. They might get me out the door more often than not. But inside the house, I don't know. There are people for whom hospitality is a joy. Let them enjoy you. Oh, girl, when I visit, people don't like me to leave. Yes. Yes. So home base, if you're bopping around for years, pick one. It can be a person you know. It can just be, this is the Airbnb I stay in when I come back here. What other options are there? You could pay long-term for a share. Like flight attendants, they pay for like long-term thing. I don't think it's worth it. If you're only going to be around for like a week every 6 months or something, I don't think it's worth it to pay for something all the time. But I do think an Airbnb that you like to stay in, that you feel comfortable in, with a good location and a good view, can be your home base, if you call it that, right? Yeah, introverts unite. Yeah, y'all introvert together. I'm not an extrovert. I am an introvert. I talk a lot. I'm a talker, and people confuse that with being an extrovert. I'm a talker and I don't have some people think you have to have social anxiety to be an introvert. I don't have I don't have much social anxiety, and I talk a lot. And so people misconstrue that for me being an extrovert. I take a test. I love taking personality tests. If it exists, I've taken it, or if I know about it, I've taken it. I am an introvert. I am an INFP. I am the what is that called? The little man is a poet. Whatever. I like to be in the house. I'm not just an introvert. I'm a hermit. I took a personality test that actually used the word hermit, right? And even I enjoy having guests here. I love it. I love it. Especially when they're also introverts. Do what you do. Okay. Do what you do. No, I've taken the test. I promise you. I've taken many a personality test and many an IQ test and whatever, jobs and in the army. And I know who I am. I know who I am. I like to be by myself. And even I like having a house guest, right? From time to time. Harlem Minded was here. She didn't even come stay with me this time. And I was like, oh, well, let me get some rugs. I think my house wasn't comfortable enough for her. Let me get a couple rugs on the floor, see if she'll stay with me next time. She came by, but she didn't stay here. And I'm like, I think I must need some rugs on the floor. Let's see if rugs will help. I don't know. I'm never going to commit to the curtain thing because I feel like the real curtain solution is paying for curtains and paying for professionally made and hung curtains. And I don't know when I'm going to feel like doing that. That seems like a real undertaking. I haven't even bought a coffee maker because of the amount of research required to buy a coffee maker. So I don't know what's going to happen. Come back to the States in the fall for the month, Southern California. Yeah, if you know someone who would open their doors to stay with you, to stay with them, try it. If not, get you an Airbnb, stay in an Airbnb, right? Curtains are expensive. And these walls are like cement or concrete with a little something over top. So it's not like you can just hang up your own curtain rod. I need somebody who knows what they're doing to hang up these curtain rods. And oh, yeah. There's no curtain. There is in the one bedroom that is decorated for guests, there is a shade. But downstairs, no curtains. No, except my office had a little flimsy curtain and it fell down because I couldn't get the thing to stay up. Anyway, I was like, oh, she's not staying here. Well, let me make my house more comfortable. Let me get some rugs on the floor. I think I need a rug. It's not the sofa problem. My sofa is okay. My sofa is comfortable enough. But I think it's the rug. I think it's the rugs. I need rugs. I don't have a bunch of plugins here. I have one little thing. And she was like, you don't have to keep that on. Yeah, I got to make it more comfortable. A few more plants. There's a good amount of plants already. There are enough plants already, but I think a few more plants. Oh, and I think if I had, I don't have any, I have 3 balconies and no furniture on any of the balconies. So that might be the next thing. If I get a little bit of furniture, if you could sit outside while you're here, I think she'll stay with me next time. I think of a little balcony space. I'm this close to her accepting my hospitality again. And the record player, I think the record player is going to put it over the top. Once I have a record player here, she's going to be so glad to stay here. No, hey, Roshni, I saw you say the other day, no rugs yet, right? We both hit 1 year in our apartments. No rugs yet. I had to go ahead and bite the bullet. And it made such a difference. The rugs made such a difference. Last time I posted a picture of my entryway or something, somebody was like, yeah, I like the bare bones look. And I'm like, well, I'm not really going for bare bones. The rugs make such a difference, even without a curtain, even without curtains, like with that, I have a big old window and no curtains. Even then, the rugs really, like, it ties the room together. I've seen with that movie, The Big Lebowski. It really ties the room together. It absolutely ties the room together. So I'm going to go ahead and get a rug in the dining room too, but I think it's just going to be a jute rug, not a, fabric rug. Yeah. I'm putting it together a little bit at a time. I would like to hire a decorator on one hand. On the other hand, I want it to look like me. I don't know. Somebody like Jewel Pearson, Ms. Bohemian Soul. She would do a fantastic job. But also, I am a real homebody. My stuff needs to be my stuff, and I don't know how a home decorator navigates that. Right? There are people who want their home to look beautiful, but it doesn't need to really reflect. Everybody's home reflects them, but it doesn't need to be them. As a hermit, as a person who there has been a week where I didn't even leave my apartment door. Right? If I have groceries, sometimes I leave the door to get groceries. And sometimes I only have to go to the elevator because the security guard, if my groceries are delivered, the security guard puts the groceries on the elevator for me. Right? But I can go a week without even leaving the front door of my apartment, not the front door of the building. I can go a week without leaving the apartment. It needs to feel like me. I'm used to being in house sits and Airbnbs and stuff, and I want everything in here to feel like me. And I don't know how designers do that because they don't know you like that, right? When you flip through pages of things like a magazine and your heart goes pitter pat, they don't feel that for the same things that you feel it for. I saw this thing I want to put in my office. No designer would pick this for me. It's a print of an expensive painting by a man named something. I'm sure it's a white man. But it's just squiggles. Okay, so wait. Okay, look at where. Okay, see these? No designer would pick these for me, but I want a version of this on like a poster or something in my office because it really speaks to me as a person who is like, just cross it out. What I see when I see this is like, girl, you ain't got to make it perfect. Just cross it out. No designer would pick this for me. But I would love some big version of that here. It also would go really nicely with the orangey reddish theme of the bookcase. I don't know how you work with a designer as having never worked with a designer. And so that's why it's going to take me forever for this to be like furnished and not look bare bones. Right? For it to not, it's going to take forever because I'm not going to leave the house very often to bring things back in the house. Facebook Marketplace has been helpful. And and I like even my sofa, I've never left the house to get that sofa. Facebook Marketplace plus a delivery driver. I didn't see the sofa before it got here, whatever. I know, Viola, I know in theory, I understand, but I have not used a designer. And so I feel really nervous about it. With clothes, I would use a stylist. Dress me. You can dress me better than I can dress me, I believe, right? But the house, I am a hermit. I'm a Cancer is the crab. Our shell is our lifeline. I need my shell to be me. This is my shell. I spent 9 years in other people's shell. As a crab, I need my own shell. I'm the designer. So I would love, on one hand, I would love a designer to come in and elevate my home so that I feel like I would love to invite artists, Black women artists and guests and stuff. And I would love them to walk in the door and be like, oh, this feels so inviting and so whatever. And I know a designer can achieve that for me, but also it's my house. I am territorial about few things, but I'm very territorial about the house. And I'm a Cancer, the crab, the shell. This is my shell. So whatever. You have the design plan for your next apartment. All I wanted, and one of the reasons I'd never actually moved to Costa Rica was all I wanted was something Spanish colonial looking, or colonial. I think that's what we call it, right? Brown, white, black, beige, terracotta, right? That's all I wanted. And it was so hard to find in Costa Rica. The apartments were so new and the houses were so ugly in San Jose. And I just I wanted to walk in and be like Spanish colonial, right? Even my fireplace is so Spanish colonial. I just wanted Spanish colonial. And when I walk in here, I'm like, Spanish colonial. Even though I don't have arched doorways, this is not a Spanish colonial. It just fits, right? I don't have the arched doorways that you technically get, but I've got wood doors, like real wood doors, wood floors, except for the bedrooms. The floors are real wood, the doors are real wood. It's old. This building is relatively old. Fireplaces that travertine maybe tile, but very Spanish colonial. I don't know. I got what I wanted out of this but mostly out of this apartment, except for the view. I don't have a good view. You got to go outside to get the view. I don't, I don't have the view. I sacrificed the view for the hardwood, for the wooden doors, for the oldness, for the old. I saw so many places that had like that gray laminate floor, just gray. I saw a lot of gray. Every place did have a fire. I think every place I saw had a fireplace. I only looked at 3 and 4 bedrooms. I think every place I saw had a fireplace. But some things were very gray and whatever. Yeah, I knew before I even got this apartment, even before I came to Colombia, I knew I wanted my life right now is Spanish colonial. I think we call it Spanish colonial revivalist. I knew that's what I wanted. I don't intend to paint too many walls in here. I may paint the office actually, but I don't intend to paint too many walls in here. Spanish colonial is white walls, wood trim, terracotta, some tile. I am missing tile. There's no tile. Like the kitchen floor is not tile. What is it? What is my kitchen floor? It's not hardwood. What is my kitchen floor? It must be a linoleum. I can't even picture my kitchen floor right now. But I knew the color scheme before I even got here, right? Terracotta, white, beige, brown, wood, black. So a designer would be fun. I mean, a designer would be helpful in making things move along faster, but I really need everything in here to be what I want it to be. Every single item. I need every single item to be something that I love because I'm gonna spend a lot of time indoors. Lots and lots of time indoors. Yeah, I learned this. So Nichelle says I must have a great view for my mental health. I learned this. My bedroom faces my bedroom windows, which are huge, face the next building. And lately, I don't get up till 9, 10, 11. And so I keep my shades in my bedroom closed all the time now, and I'm suffering. It's not helpful. It's not helpful for my mental health. Because by the time I wake up, they're in their houses and I can see them or their housekeeper, right? And so I've been keeping the shades closed. So not only do I have no view, but I have no light. It's a thing that I need to figure out a good workaround for. I have a good view if I go out on my balcony and I have a good view from the kitchen, but I don't have a good view in my bedroom or the other bedroom that has furniture in it right now. And I'm learning how that was important. I'm learning that was an important thing that I did not get. I think I might put a big mural up in my bedroom and see how that helps. Because I also have no artwork in my bedroom right now, and that's another problem. The other rooms, I don't want the other rooms. My room is humongous, and if I'm going to have other people staying here with me, it would be nice to keep my room, the humongous room, so that if I don't want to leave, I can have a sofa in there and I can have a whatever. There's room for a sofa and a little entertainment center if I wanted to. I really don't know that I want a TV in my bedroom. And there's room for still like some sort of, I could keep my yoga mat in there and my sofa in there and a dressing table and my bed, right? Like that could be a one-stop shop for me. If there are other people living here. Yeah, but I am learning that the not having a view and keeping my shades closed because of the neighbors is a mental health problem that I need to find a solution for. Solution number 1, get up, get out of the bed, and get outside hasta pronto. First thing in the morning, get up, get out of the bed, go outside, and go for a walk. That would solve that problem. Instead of my room, it's like a cave right now because it's huge. There's only a bed and dresser. Only a bed and nightstands. And the shades are closed. It's like a cave. It's like waking up in a cave. And that's my own doing. Get up, get out of the room, get outside or get into one of the other rooms. Right now, my living room is much cuter now with the rugs and the bar cart. Get up and get into one of the other rooms instead of staying in that cave for hours to start the day. That's a mental health. That would improve my mental health. So, but no, I'm not doing it because I don't know. I may be back to walking and running intervals this week. Every time I say it, I re-injure myself. But I think we're done with that now. All right. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. So I may be back to walking and running. And if I do that, getting up first thing in the morning and getting out and getting that first light of day will change my outlook. I got to go. Listen, we're at noon. It's 11:11 and I have to be at whatchamacallit at noon so that I can, for our meetup, we're eating at noon. Vivian, no, it's Vivian, right? I couldn't get in touch with you, friend. I hope you saw my DM on Instagram. Let's see if you replied. We're going at noon. We're going to eat. Vivian. So your profile is private. So I don't know if you saw my DM. I don't see, you said that you told me that you had emailed me in the chat. You said you emailed me, but I don't see any email. Oh, you know what I didn't do is look in the spam. I hope you see my DM. Go to your DMs if you're here. If you don't know about the lunch, I didn't look in my spam. Let me see if it's possibly in the spam folder. But I gotta go so I can get there. I am gonna walk there and see if my knees are like, okay, we're back. We're back, baby. There's a lot in my spams. My spams. I got a lot of spams in my spams. But nothing looks like it's from Vivian. So much spams. Well, I don't know. If you don't see this, then I hope you're still in town for a while. I don't even have any idea how long you're in town for. But your Instagram is private, so I DM'd you, but I don't know that you'll see the DM. And I don't see any email from you. And all I know is that you're Vivian. I don't know anything else. I'm sorry. Okay. But the other two, I'll see you in a few. Okay. I'll see you on a little bit. Thank you all for being here, for bearing with me, for giving me grace and patience. Before we go, let me give you the link to the Exodus Summit community one more time, exodussummit.com/community. If you're a Black woman and you're interested in some meetups abroad and getting to know some other Black women who are either moving abroad or have moved abroad, join us in the community. $1 one-time fee to join, exodussummit.com/community. That's where you'll see the meetups, including Medellin, Colombia, which is happening August 8th, and Panama, the Exodus International Meetup Day, Exodus Summit International Meetup Day, which is September 5th, with meetups happening worldwide, literally worldwide. Yolanda just messaged me and she's hosting a meetup in Zaragoza, Spain. I'm attending a meetup in Panama City, Panama. Rashida's going to a meetup in Guadalajara, Mexico, all over, including all over the US. You can join a meetup or you can just make a meetup. You can create a meetup by joining the Exodus Summit community. If you're a Black woman, exodussummit.com/community. My new house sitter toolkit includes my affiliate link to Trusted House Sitters and the letter that I use to get booked to house sit, the template. Okay, that's linked here. And then Exodus ASAP, we're doing the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge. It's already on, but you've only missed one coaching session. Join us at exodusasap.com to come to the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge. Coaching sessions are Thursdays and Mondays for 6 sessions. And you'll walk away with a repeatable system to get clients, plural, without having to prospect one at a time. If you're already a freelancer or a coach or a consultant or something and you need clients online, or if you're interested in starting it, a virtual assistant, right? Go ahead and join us, exodusasap.com. The Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge is included in the membership to Exodus ASAP. Okay. All right. I see y'all again. Rashida's talking on her channel tomorrow to Courtney, who's in Medellin, Colombia. I believe that's what she told me. And so make sure that you're subscribed to Rashida's channel and make sure that you turn on notifications so that you don't miss that. Medellin is better weather than Bogota, and we have our meetup there very soon. So you'll want to hear what Courtney's got to say about Medellin. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern time on Rashida's channel, and I'll link to that here and in the description. Okay, we did it. Thank you for your patience. Have a wonderful weekend. Take good care. Bye.